Hello, this is Colin Meaney, and you are watching Sky Guide. It's about the building of the Transcontinental Railroad in the United States, from basically Chicago to San Francisco in the 1860s. It's right after the Civil War, and the character I play, Dr. Durant, actually has a speech about how the country has been torn apart and only this railroad can bring it together. And that's basically what it was. A huge engineering undertaking. You know, nobody thought it could be. A lot of people thought it could not be done. But this guy Durant had great faith in it, and it was as you say, it was the beginning of the end of the Old West, because once the railroad came through and once you didn't have to go wagon training across the country, it changed everything.
Which one of you will join me in this mad, noble quest? Who among you will have to say in years hence that he stood idly by as this nation became an empire?
He's an actual historical character. Thomas Doc Durant was his name, and he started out as an eye doctor. It's very bizarre, and then switched professions and became basically a Wall Street guy. You know, various investments in steel and cotton, and he was trading, running the blockade of the Confederate States during the Civil War and exporting cotton from the South to Britain, I think. And you know, he did a lot of sort of shady deals along the way, but he was also a brilliant investor and made lots of money, and then the railroad became his kind of overriding dream.
And who among you will be able to say he lent a hand in making manifest our destiny as a great nation?
We first meet Dr. Durant, and he's in Washington making a speech, trying to sell shares in the railroad. And after his speech, he has a little meeting with the senator, who he basically threatens into giving him certain rights and certain concessions. I mean, it's the same stuff it's still going on today. This is what makes the show kind of very relevant in that way. It's still going on today. You know, I mean, the closeness of politicians and big business was ever thus, you know what I mean? It was like, and what Durant is doing was perhaps a bit, I mean, he might not get away with it today, but a lot of it he would, you know. But basically, sort of, you know, making sure a politician knows about a certain piece of land that will become part of the railroad, so he can invest in that if you give me my $16 a mile, and if you give me my you know, concessions to go through this, you know, government land or whatever. It's wheeling and dealing on that level, you know, but big, huge amounts of money involved.
Might I ask how many shares are here?
200. I think you'll find that's fair.
400 sounds fairer.
Are you trying to renegotiate a bribe?
It's not just the money thing that motivates him. He genuinely becomes kind of like obsessed with building this railroad and getting it built. And actually ends up losing money along the way himself, but he, you know, in knowing he will make more back in the end. But he's definitely a guy who thinks the ends justify the means. That getting this built is the most important thing in the world, and he doesn't care who suffers along the way as long as he gets his railroad built. So yeah, his rapscallion would be a good description for him.
What I was thinking was something more like this.
But we're building over flat land. Why wouldn't we make it straight?
Why wouldn't we make it straight, he asks.
He wants it to go meandering. And of course, you know, he's making more per mile. It's like, instead of being 40 miles from here to there, it ends up being, you know, 86. So he's getting more per mile. So that's I mean, he does sort of involve himself in shady dealings like that.
Let me elucidate. In case you haven't heard, this undertaking is being subsidized by the enormous teat of the federal government. This never-ending, money-gushing nipple pays me $16,000 per mile. Yet, You build my road straight!
I don't see him as just 100% bad guy, you know. I mean, he does. You have to look for them, but he does have some redeeming features, you know. As the episodes go, you know, by episode 5 or 6, I think an audience will start realizing that he does. He doesn't have a heart of stone. He has feelings, you know, just like anybody else, and his feelings can be hurt. And there's, you know what I mean. So I suppose what I, in playing a sort of, as I say, a bad guy like this, you look for the humanity. You don't want to just make it a one-dimensional kind of, you know, mustache twirling bad guy.